Trainings is some translation from Spanish.
His trainings.
That doesn't make sense in English. I don't know what trainings are.
I think it might. Organiza sus entrenamientos. His.
Organizing his courses.
Las clases.
Or planning his courses.
I'm thinking maybe it's. I'm thinking maybe it has to do with training for the plagues. It requires him to be in exceptional physical health. So I think maybe his workouts as opposed to trainings, like physical training.
But the sentence deals with classes. But the classes were helping him find himself.
But if you look above, it's the player required him to be in top physical condition. So I'm thinking that entrenamiento is physical, like it's working out. So that's like he was crazy with all that stuff, but at least the classes were helping him stabilize himself. Like that's the one thing he had as a concept.
Sort of like stretching and like corporal movements or
but I think there's a better. But you're right. It probably has to be more specifically than just training. It probably should be more like his workouts or his
workouts,
something like that.
No, like how do you, as a translator, how do you find? Because I write about this book is about the language for me. It's not only about the expression or the subject, but the object, the whole language barrier and transmutation and all that. So as you as a worker, like how do you find that connection as a worker, scientifically, the language, or as an artist, the way the language combines and jumps from place to place, you know? And how also then you come out so beautifully in another language.
It's I guess it's hard to say exactly because I sort of live with that constantly. My language barrier, I mean, that language sort of has opened up a lot. Having both of them from a very young age has opened up a lot of doors for me, but also cut me off from a lot of things like within my own head. It's hard to sometimes make those connections. So with the book, what I wound up doing was I did a lot of revisions. So the first time it was just off the top of my head, whatever, like the first thing that came to my mind, writing it down, and then going through and cleaning it up. And I mean, I'd be asking you, for example, like, hey, this is a phrase I don't recognize, I've never heard before. How do what do you mean by this? And then I can try to find something in English. There are a lot of times that I wound up with phrases that that just don't translate. They didn't translate culturally. There's no equivalent. There's no way for me to take the words that you said and put down and make it the same in English. So I wound up going with like an English idiom or something like that that sort of fit the context. Like I'm thinking of Redemption Mrs. Kentridge when in Spanish he says desaparezcalo para donde ni el diablo no santería santo espiritista lo puede encontrar. O sea, it's something that we just these spiritualist centers, these spiritualists that we don't exist.
Yeah.
So I had to find something else to give the same impact. The way I did it was I tried to because you do sort of manage the language really beautifully, and I tried to find ways, knowing that it was like a melancholy story, knowing that this was supposed to be sort of a tongue-in-cheek sort of, almost like an inside joke. Not really an inside joke, but more of a...
Intimate.
Yeah, like an intimate, like dark humor, just like this sort of... so I tried to use words that would convey that same sort of feeling that I got when I read it. And I think that's what it really came down to, was the way that I read it, and I assumed that was the correct way, because that's the way that I read it. So I just made the book sort of follow that in English.
The good thing about this whole exercise is the detachment, at least from my part. And then the attachment then from your part is the contradiction. Because for me, honestly I was amazed with the first reading all that, but then it was like after that, like if every time you came, what do you think about this? I said, I don't care. Like, that's it. It took another life. So I'm looking forward to read it.
I'm actually looking forward to you reading it because I want to see what you think. Yeah. I'd actually love to be there in the room with you while you read it, just to see your expression. Like that would be fun. I don't have that much time to like sit there with you and do that, but I think that'd be interesting.
It's gonna take me time to read it. But it's gonna be the first book of mine that I'm gonna read. 'Cause I don't read my books. Books done is done. You know? Yeah, I wanna go there anymore. So this one is gonna be good reading in another language or anything. I'm looking forward for it. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It's the last book that I've written like that. That same pace, that same intensity. Because the novel, la novela, it's another thing. You know? It's more like the day. The short fiction for me is like those little sprints, you know? And you go after, and it's the whole day thinking about the same story. And before going to bed, writing, 3 lines, which is sometimes will take me two months, but sometimes I can write it in 2 afternoons. The sound of it. I know it's literature, but literature for me is like a kind of a dead thing. So for me, the translation just made the thing grow. Because you're a reader first to translate it, so you have to also have it, like it, because it's like, there are like, how many stories is that? 14?
14, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you write a lot.
I mean, you have to like it, because I wasn't even paying you or anything.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
The whole thing came from you, so for me it's more like it's a compliment, honestly. Oh, a huge compliment. Everything, the whole process, and I've learned a lot. I also realized that I will be never able to write a book in English.
No, don't say that. I think you're working on it.
No, because language is something that is alive too, and there's a lot that I have to find in Spanish, especially now that I'm teaching Spanish. I am finding out that there is a lot of Spanish that I have to get to. So you can still translate it. Let's get famous and then you get paid now.